Hello everybody, Michael the Librarian of Magic here, finding and cataloging the magical and pointing you to it. I've got another What's New on Disney Plus video for you this week, this time detailing everything that was added to the service for the week of April 3rd, 2020, and there was a lot of stuff, so I have a lot of things to talk about here. I'll try to do it as quickly and accurately as I possibly can. And I've got my notes here. I'll jump straight into that and talk about everything that happened. They usually, it seems so far, since the service has existed, Disney tends to front load the month with things that they're adding. They'll drop a lot of stuff in the first couple weeks of the month, and then it'll sort of go down to a little bit of a trickle, and then another big batch of stuff. That's been the pattern so far. And this month is no different. So, when it comes to things that were just added to Disney Plus, there are many. Disney added some nature documentaries for Earth Day, Earth Month, April, and some of them are they are considered exclusive Disney originals that are in the Disney Originals section. I will be giving those documentaries a totally separate video than this to actually review them and talk a little bit about Disney Nature Studios, like the arm of the Walt Disney Studios that puts out Disney Nature films. But they did add the films Dolphin Reef and Elephant to Disney Plus, to the original section. And I did watch those, and as I said, I'll be giving those a separate video. They kind of sprung so much content on me this week that I've been behind with producing these videos and keeping up with everything, because in addition to Dolphin Reef and Elephant, which are feature-length documentaries, they also released some films called Diving with Dolphins and In the Footsteps of Elephant, which are making-of films about Dolphin Reef and Elephant. At first, when I saw them just pop up on the my menu, I thought they were like special features or little sort of making of segments, but they're full length, like hour and a half long documentaries about the documentaries. So those are full on films, Diving with Dolphins and In the Footsteps of Elephant, which I have yet to watch, but I will watch those before I make my review film. They also added Penguin's Life on the Edge, which is a feature-length documentary about the making of the film Penguins, which is not a Disney Plus original, but is one of the Disney Nature films that was made a few years back, which was also added to Disney Plus for, on April 3rd. So all of these new nature films have been added to their already large Disney Nature Library, as well as National Geographic and all the other stuff that they have on there. They also they added a playlist called, I think it's called Earth Month or something, that has kind of all of this stuff in one spot. But if you go to the Disney Originals tab, you'll find Dolphin Reef, Elephant, Diving with Dolphins, In the Footsteps of Elephant, and Penguin's Life on the Edge, which I'm planning on getting to all of those and making a video about that, as I've said multiple times. So look forward to that if that's something that you're interested in, seeing my reactions to all of those, and probably a little explanation about what Disney Nature is and what they do. Also just added to Disney Plus this week, Dr. Dolittle, the film starring Eddie Murphy from, I guess it would have been the early 2000s, mid-2000s, something like that. A Tale of Two Critters, which is a nature film that Walt Disney Studios made in the 70s, like 1975, I think, about a bear and a raccoon, I think. I haven't seen that one, but I love when they put those sorts of things on here. That's one of my favorite things, when they add that sort of stuff to Disney Plus. When I see that pop up as an added thing each week or each month, they put these sort of curiosities from the vault, so to speak, that a lot of people have probably never seen, myself included, and I'm a pretty big Disney fan. And it's like stuff that's probably hard to find, maybe was never even released on DVD. Things like A Tale of Two Critters, they're just interesting curiosities that Disney has made throughout the years, and it's really cool, in my opinion, to have them on here. They just added a film called The Straight Story from 1999, about an elderly man who travels across the country on a lawnmower to um, make amends with his ailing brother, something like that. I haven't seen that either, but that's on there now if you've heard of it or are interested in something like that. They added a whole bunch of Donald Duck shorts on here that weren't already on here before. They had a handful of all of the classic shorts, Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, etc., but not all of them, and they just added a whole bunch more. And to see a bunch more Donald shorts on here, I'm really happy with, because of all of the shorts characters, Donald Duck is by far my favorite. They added All in a Nutshell, Don's Fountain of Youth, Donald's Dog Laundry, Out of Scale, Sea Scouts, The New Neighbor, and the Chip and Dale short Dragging Around. They also added the Goofy short Double Dribble, as well as How to Play Football. I love those sports how-to things with Goofy. They're classic and hilarious. If you've never seen any of those, or any of these shorts really, do yourself a favor and just sit down and watch some of the classic shorts from the 40s and 50s. They're well worth your time. They also added On Ice, which is a Mickey Mouse short, Pluto's Party, which is obviously a Pluto short, Lambert the Sheepish Lion, which is sort of a animated short film, like 15 or 20 minutes, which is about a lion who is raised by sheep, and that's one I always liked when I was a kid. And then also The Small One, which is a animated Christmas time short film that's biblical in nature. It's about a person, a young boy who is sort of lives in the Mideast with a donkey, and he ends up intersecting with the events of the birth of the Christ child. So that's on there now. It's kind of a classic one for Christmas time, if that's something you're interested in. And then also I think that's all the shorts that they. Oh, Elmer Elephant is another animated short that they added, and I believe those are all the shorts. But they added a whole bunch of them. So if you're a shorts fan like I am, if you're a classic animation fan like I am, check those out. It's awesome that they keep adding those. I hope they keep doing more until we get as many as we possibly can, if not all of them. They added the film The Boy Who Talked to Badgers from 1975, another one of those weird Disney curiosities. I think it was maybe a made-for-TV movie back then. I can't tell. It's one I'm really not familiar with at all, but it's about a boy who has a relationship with animals. They released seasons 1 through 3 of Sunny with a Chance, which is a Disney Channel show, kind of a coming-of-age type of show, as in the same format that most Disney Channel shows are. There's an animated show, like a Disney XD style show called Fish Hooks. They released seasons 1 through 3 of Fish Hooks. If that is something you are a fan of, that is on Disney Plus now. And then, of course, in addition to all of this stuff, all of these nature docs, all of the shorts that they just added, all that cool stuff, Disney also released on April 3rd Disney Pixar's Onward to Disney Plus. So I'll be watching that and doing another review video about that as well on its own. I haven't gotten around to that yet either because of all of the stuff they've dropped. So there's a huge amount of content, of new stuff and original stuff and exclusives, and it's cool that they put Onward on there. It's a bummer that it wasn't able to get its full theatrical release and everything like that, but it's cool that they put it on here so we can all check it out, and I'll be giving my thoughts on that as soon as I can. So that is all just the new stuff that was added to Disney Plus this week. As far as original content, besides the nature docs and everything, new episode of Be Our Chef this week called Diagnosis Delicious, featuring the Platt family and the Wells family. And they were tasked with, they all got to go to, both families all got to go to Epcot to meet Baymax. They have from Big Hero 6, they have a Baymax meet and greet at Epcot, which I saw when I was there. It's across from the Meet Joy and Sadness from Inside Out meet and greet, and I met Joy and watched all the other people across the street meeting Baymax. Anyway, they all go and meet Baymax and talk about how he is trying to inspire better, scientific and healthy solutions in Hero and the rest of the gang's life. And they're tasked with making a dessert that's also healthy and also have a Big Hero 6 theme. So that's what they set out to do. The Platts make a sort of a ice cream sandwich. That's the sandwich part is like a mochi based flour cake with an avocado ice cream in the middle, and then they also make like a raspberry coulis dip and like some sort of matcha sugar dusting thing, and they dust it so that the top of the round circular ice cream sandwich looks like Baymax's face. So they have a really cool theme there. The Wells family makes these little tartlets with chocolate and strawberry and like an almond flour crust. They were inspired by all of the microbots from Big Hero 6, so they have all these different strawberry configurations, the way that in the film the microbots are able to make themselves into a bunch of different configurations. That's what they try to go for. Ultimately, the Platt family wins this challenge with their ice cream sandwich. They get these cool Baymax pins. I always like they don't make a big deal out of it in the show, but I always like the pins that they get just as a Disney nerd like that. It's a cool little touch to the show. Um, and as you may remember from when I talked about this show in the past, it's round robin style, so every team is going to face every team. So just because the Wells family didn't win this challenge doesn't mean that they're out of the entire contest for the Disney cruise trip at the end. They'll get more chances. So, but the Platt family did win this episode. There was obviously a new episode of Shop Class. This one was called Shop Class Downhill Derby, and essentially the teams were tasked with making a soapbox racer or a derby car that would go downhill. And they all had different ideas about how to do that. The blue team made a pig car that just looked like a pig that was shaped flying down the hill. The green team made a cheese wedge car that just looked like a big hunk of cheese that was wedge shaped. They went for a more aerodynamic shape rather than a more creative looking one. Although the cheese thing was pretty creative for the shape that they were going for. And then the gold team went for like a shark theme, and they made like water around it and a cool shark. It wasn't very aerodynamic, but it was very creative looking. They did a time trial where they raced them all downhill. Unfortunately, the most aerodynamic car, the cheese wedge, didn't make it all the way down the run. It ran into the side and failed to complete the trial. And of the cars that did make it through the trial, the gold team's shark cart finished faster than the blue team's pig cart. Ultimately, the judges decided to go with the gold team's shark-based car as the winner for creativity reasons, in addition to the time trial. And the gold team was the last team to move on to the semifinals. So starting in the next episode, they'll move on to the semis, and I think there's probably only a couple of episodes of this show left before they get all the way to the final. But now it'll be interesting to see. I'm interested to see the semis because now we'll see some of these teams that were competing in previous challenges, how they stack up against some of these other teams. So that's Shop Class for the week. Disney Insider, there was no new episode that I could find for whatever reason, so no new Disney Insider segments to check out. One Day at Disney Shorts was a feature on a person called Patty Murin, who plays Anna in Frozen the Musical on Broadway, and it was just sort of nice to see, her daily routine and backstage at a Broadway musical, and just, have a nice little 5-minute or so segment that makes you feel hopeful about how one day we're going to get back to the theater and things like that. And if we all hang in there and work together and stuff, we'll be able to enjoy things like Frozen the Musical on Broadway again someday. But it was, in the meanwhile, nice to see just a little taste behind backstage of what they do at Frozen the Musical. Disney Family Sundays craft this week was a gardening apron based around Minnie Mouse. It was decorated in Minnie Mouse style, and something that kids and parents alike could use in the garden if you wanted to style up your gardening apron just a little bit. They've been obviously working on spring crafts lately because the show has been moving a little bit with the seasons, and I kind of appreciate that. Because like in the wintertime they did a wreath and stuff like that, and now they're making more like flower pots and gardening aprons and stuff. So it's kind of cool that they do that. I don't know if this is just going to keep going forever or like throughout the rest of the year, or if they're planning on chunking this up into seasons, or they just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. I don't know what their plan is for Disney Family Sundays, but we're already up to 22 individual segments of this, so we'll see. Likewise for One Day at Disney Shorts. Don't get me wrong, I've been appreciating both learning some of the crafts on Disney Family Sundays and seeing some of the One Day at Disney Shorts. I just don't know how many of those they're planning on doing or not. It'll be interesting to see. So that's what happened with both of those. Disney Fairy Tale Weddings, there was an episode called Marry Me, and I'm pretty sure this is the finale of the season. And it featured a couple of interesting segments. One of them featured a couple called Ike and Romila, who were celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary, and they were being surprised by their son Nico. They were originally married in Greece 25 years ago. Ike's family is from Greece. He grew up in Greece, and Nico surprises them through Disney and Adventures by Disney, another advertisement for Adventures by Disney, surprises them with a trip to Greece for their 25th anniversary, and they get to do all of these like Adventures by Disney activities and stuff, and enjoy it in a way that they didn't get to 25 years ago. So they were married in Greece, and then Romila's brother and sister came out basically on their honeymoon, because when were they ever going to get another chance to be out in Greece? They stayed, and so they spent their honeymoon with their brother and sister and everything in tow. This time they did a lot more stuff on their own, and at the end of the episode they're supposed to be having a romantic dinner together for their 25th anniversary, and they get surprised by their whole family actually being there to have a big 25th anniversary party. Another nice little touch in that is their son Nico is going to school for fashion design, and he actually helps a Greek fashion designer design a special dress for his mother to wear during their 25th anniversary party. So it's a really nice touch. There's a really nice touching moment where Nico's dad discovers that his son actually had a hand in making the dress that he didn't know before, and he's very, very proud of him. That to me was more touching than all of the romantic moments and everything else like that, but that his father is so proud that he made this dress. So that was a cool little segment. The other segment featured a couple called Amanda and Kyle, who live in California, and they have been together for 4 or 5 years. They have lived together, and they were starting a family. They got pregnant a couple years ago, and unfortunately the pregnancy didn't work out. It was a miscarriage, and that was a traumatic time for the both of them. But eventually they did get pregnant again, and they gave birth to their daughter Harlow. And Kyle has been trying to figure out a way to propose since then to make their family sort of official, and he was going to do it earlier, but of course they went through a whole bunch of events in their life together, and it just kind of got put off and put off, so now he really wants to do it. This is sort of a 2-for-1 package. Fairy Tale Weddings helps Kyle both with his proposal and their wedding after that. He proposes at Pixar Pier at Disney's California Adventure. They set up this thing where he convinces his girlfriend that they're going to a special tour behind the scenes. Like he knows somebody that's going to let them in early and give them a tour, but they get into the park early so that he can propose at Pixar Pier. And it's kind of a cool thing. The rest of the people in the tour are, in a setup. And then later on, they also get married at Pixar Pier. And Disney uses like the World of Color show that goes on behind that in the lagoon there to like accentuate their nighttime wedding, which is really cool. They use graphics and stuff on the water and everything like that. And then also they have a special thing with their daughter. So their daughter is a baby. She's not really able to be involved at night because they have to get married after the park is closed, and she's fast asleep by then. But during the day, they do a photography thing where the bride is revealed to the groom for the first time, and they also have their little daughter there as well to be revealed to her and have special pictures with her and stuff, which is really cute. And then during their reception, Fairy Tale Weddings has Jason Derulo there to perform for the couple, and that's a really nice little send off for them as well. So they kind of give them this whole big deal, and that's sort of the big kickoff finale episode for the season of Fairy Tale Weddings. Just kind of a fun little show, sometimes corny, sometimes romantic, sometimes inspiring, sometimes advertising. It's kind of a mixed bag of everything, but not unfun to watch. I enjoyed watching the season of it. So that was Disney Fairy Tale Weddings. That is all the stuff that has been added to Disney Plus this week, which is a lot. In addition to all of the stuff that I mentioned above, there is also a new episode of The Clone Wars that was added, and I watched that. I'll give a separate video, as I have been doing, for The Clone Wars, if that's something that you're interested in. I'll be giving my impressions on that, as well as all the, Onward and the nature docs and everything like that. I'll be trying my best to get caught up on that content before new stuff comes out on the 10th, and we have to do a whole new What's New on Disney Plus video by then. So I'm trying my best to get caught up here. I hope this has been entertaining and informative for you. I hope you're hanging in there, and this just gives you a nice little addition to your day, a nice little bright spot in the midst of everything that's going on, and maybe some new things you didn't know about on Disney Plus. It might give you something to do and something exciting and positive and heartwarming to watch and interesting to watch. Because it's been something that has been a nice little break for me as well. So thanks as always for watching these. I really appreciate it. Feel free to comment down below if you are so inclined. And until I see you next week in the next one, I'll be watching some Disney Plus content because there's a lot of stuff to catch up on. So until then, bye-bye.